What happens when three of the world's best bass pros converge on Florida's famed big bass factory, Bienville Plantation, to battle it out against each other and Mother Nature? Faced with cold front conditions, 1,000 miles of fishable shoreline, no practice time, and only 3 hours to break it all down with Z-Man baits. New location, new challenges, new twists. This is Project Z, Season 2, The Battles at Bienville.
Let's see what we got here. See what the new challenge is going to be.
For David's jig challenge, he must catch as many bass as possible in a 3-hour fishing period using the new Project Z casting and football head jigs rigged with either a Turbo CrawZ or BatwingZ trailer.
What I have here, this is the new Z-Man football jig, and it's got the new textured skirt on there. As you can see, look at how that skirt material is. It actually has really a texture to it, right? I mean, it's so much different than your traditional skirts right there. And then on top of that, what I'm going to rig on the back of this right here is a Turbo CrawZ. Now, when it comes to these football head jigs, you really can pull it along the bottom. That's really the best way to fish a football jig, actually just dragging it. And with this Turbo CrawZ on the back, you got those pinchers back there making all the action for you. Just pull it along the bottom. Couldn't be any easier to use. It's just simply thread this right up on there. And as you can see, we got these new keepers on there that really hold that elastic in place. Just push it up past that. I'm gonna pull it back down. And now that thing is locked in there. So that gives me a nice little compact looking bait, 3/4 ounce, so you can throw it a mile. Easy to throw, it's gonna stay in contact with the bottom. And as you can see, it's got this football head. Football head is important because it keeps that jig sitting just like this on the bottom. So it's not rolling over, getting hung on things. It's gonna stay upright like this. And as you're pulling it along, as you can see, it kind of rocks forward. And that elastic on the back end like that has all that action and all that buoyancy. So this jig is really gonna stand up. Even when you stop it, the jig continues to move because it wants to stand up and the skirt flares out. It's just a great looking crawfish imitation.
Wanting to try new water, David begins his challenge in Honey Hole Lake.
Another jig trailer I'm going to be using on just a standard flipping type jig here is what we call the Batwing. Got the BatwingZ in 2 sizes right here. The smaller size and the larger one. Today I'm really trying to catch me a 10-pound fish or plus, so I'm going to go with this bigger size right here. Doesn't necessarily mean you got to use a big bait for a big fish, but I'm going to start off with that attitude anyway. And to rig this, it's really simple. Because this elastic is so durable, you can basically rig this much like we used to do the old traditional pork frog when it's actually made out of pigskin. Because it's so strong, it stays on there. A lot of the plastics, if you try to nose hook it like that, as soon as you pull on it a little bit, it's gonna break and come off. This stuff here is gonna stay right in place for you. And you hang it up like so. Now we got this nice big bulky profile, a lot of buoyancy in there, and it's super soft. So even as it's falling, there's a lot of action going on there, has a lot of movement to it. Then when it hits the bottom, tail end stands right up, has that imitation of like a crawfish when they stand in that defensive mode. So this is gonna stand up for you. Easy to throw, and like I said, you're not gonna have to mess with it. You're gonna put one on there and fish with it all day. So I like that, simple. Now, cue the fish. Should have caught one right there. Lifted it up, hit a limb or something down there. Come on. I just want to fish right here because it's warmer than any place I've been. Ooh, should have been there.
After an hour with no bites, David is beginning to second-guess his decision to move to a new lake.
Well, the clock's ticking, right? We're running out of time. Fished some good-looking stuff, and I tell you, if we'd have had any bites at all, like just something to kind of keep you there and keep you some interest, we'd have stayed. But man, it just was not happening. We didn't get a bite. So. Rule number A, don't leave fish to find fish. And we did it again, so we're gonna go back and try the same area. I mean, it could very well be, this is gonna be a good test to see how well that Ned rig was working this morning, if it was that much involved with the finesse bait, or if it was just the time of day or what it is. But we're gonna go back where we know there's some fish, and then slow down and pick it apart and catch some bass. Well, I heard one time, you don't leave fish to find fish. Did it again. Did it again.
David heads back to an area on Lake Purvis where he had success in the morning contest. With less than an hour to go and no fish in the boat, he needs to make something happen quickly if he's going to complete his challenge.
Got him. Got him. Now, that right there, look at it, skin hooked in the lip. What's cool about that is, look at that, there's nothing to do, there's no maintenance there, which normally is the downfall of soft plastics. Yeah, you get bites, but there's always something to work on, fix, and you go through a lot of baits throughout the day. You notice this one right here is still ready to go. I didn't have to do anything to it. It's tough as nails. That stuff is really awesome.
Having caught a fish on a casting jig and BatwingZ trailer, David switches up to a football head to complete his challenge.
There's a boat right there. Golly. Holy, those are fish. Those aren't bait either. Are you kidding me? Wow, that is crazy. There you got a boss. Get in the boat. Slightly under 11. Maybe there's another one. What do you think? Gotcha. Sweet. Got one on the old football. Caught a football on the football. Well, as you can see, we're kind of losing our light here. Getting near the end of the day. Time's almost up. And I tell you what, this jig challenge has been exactly that, a challenge, right? It's tough on us. Tried some new water, and that didn't work out. So came back to a place where we knew some fish were, and we're still able to cover water. You notice I was fishing pretty fast, trying to find some fish. And then once we hit that point there, had a bite and another one, and caught a couple fish. We made it work out today, even though we thought it wasn't going to happen for us. But right there at the end, we managed to pull a rabbit out of our hat and get it done.
Next time on Project Z, in this Battle of Charleston bonus episode, Drew Gregory, kayak fishing guru and Z-Man pro staffer, heads to the South Carolina coast to try and complete the Charleston Slam. Faced with less than optimal fishing conditions, this isn't going to be an easy challenge. This is Project Z, Season 2, The Battles at Bienville.